Let me tell you a story about what happened here in the UK 2 days ago, right? So I'll start the story from when I first got the call. Now, there's somebody I used to know, or rather, there's a couple I used to know, husband and wife. They have one child. They live in the UK. Their child should be maybe 3 years. Yeah, around maybe 3 years. I'm just guessing. I'm not sure, but maybe around 3 years old child. So they got married in Nigeria, came back, and then moved to the UK. I think maybe 1 year after the child was born or so. Now, this man called me and said, there's a problem in his home and he needs my help. I said, okay, what happened? Then he said he's suspecting that his wife wants to call the police on him and maybe report him to the Home Office, the government, to have him deported. I said, why? It is unusual for your wife to just want to frustrate your life like that. What really happened? He said they had a misunderstanding and he began to suspect that she wants to call the police, and so he left the house. I said, okay, how long have you been away from the house? He said he's been away for 5 days. I said, okay, what do you want me to do? He said he wants me to speak to the wife, that the wife is one of my biggest fans and the wife listens to my videos a lot. I said, okay, send me your wife's number. He sent me the number and I called her. So when I called her, at first she was not sounding so nice, but when I said, oh, this is Dick Infamous, and she became a bit lively. And I said, okay, I'm sorry, I'm intruding. I hope you don't mind. Can I ask you a few questions? She said, yes, go ahead. I said, your husband called me, and he told me this and that you want to call police on him and all of that. What happened? And note that I'm not very close to them, but I used to know them from home together. I think I even got to know them before they got married back home in Nigeria. So they were living in Edo State, right? But I used to know them very well. So she started, and I asked her, I said, what happened? She said, first of all, she had no plans on calling the police or reporting him to the authorities. I said, okay, thank you. So what happened? And she began to explain that they went out on a certain day, came back, that the husband had a lot to drink, so he slept before her. And when he slept off, say for some reason, for the first time, she felt like checking his phone. So, women and their instincts. So she checked the phone and finally found what she was looking for in the phone. And then she noticed he has different side chicks, but there was one that was very serious. This particular side chick was so serious with the man. They have a strong relationship. So when she was reading the chat from the very beginning, she saw a place where the husband told this side chick that his wife is dead. The wife died in Nigeria. She felt very bad that the wife died in Nigeria. And so the side chick now really opened her heart and they started the relationship. There was this particular place he always takes her to. Now, on top of that, the next thing she did, she took that lady's number, called the lady with her own phone and said she wanted to meet with her, explain some things to her, and they agreed to meet somewhere. Here in the UK, they met and they spoke. She didn't want to make a trouble out of it. She didn't want to make any trouble out of the issue. So they met somewhere and they spoke peacefully. And the lady now told her that, your husband told me that his wife had passed. That was why I opened my heart. I had no idea that he has a wife. He only told me he has one child. So she became so mad. Then the side chick began to apologize to her that she ordinarily doesn't do married men. But, because of the story the man narrated, that the man told her that he was going to marry her. And now, she went back home. The pain, after the conversation with that lady, the pain became so, she became so mad. She got home and confronted the husband. The husband denied. Started raising voices. When somebody wants to do defensive attack, he started raising voices. From there, fight starts. He started beating her. So it was after beating her that he now left the house because he thought she was going to call police immediately. I told her, I said, hold on. So yesterday, I now went to see her. I went to her house yesterday. On getting there, I saw stitches on her head. I saw bruises on her face. This side, like this, just black and red, he really battered this woman here in the UK. So he took off. 5 days, they never see him. So she now told me that was why he left the house. He thought she was going to call police. And I began to think, In as much as we are telling women to calm down in the UK and stop reporting their husbands to police, at the same time, we still need to speak to husbands to relax. You are in a country where people hardly get away with domestic violence, but that is the offense you choose to commit. That is the crime you choose to commit. Now you cheat, now you then catch, now you they lie, now you still they beat. If this woman reported to the police and had him deported, everybody could call her bad woman. You see, Nigerians, we need to work on our manner of thinking. If they deport this woman, are you aware that most Nigerians will not care what went wrong or what the man did? They will just tag a bad woman for reporting her husband. This is how most women find it difficult to speak up about what they are facing in marriage, because the Nigerian community may go against them and call them bad women. I do not encourage people to report their husbands to police. It doesn't make any sense. But in a case where the husband would do such a thing to a wife who has done nothing, and I called him back. To be honest, when I saw the woman's bruises, do you know this? The mark here, the man burst bottle for her head. The man burst bottle for the woman. That's how she got that injury in front of their child. Do you know that while she was showing me the stitches and explaining, she took me to the kitchen, narrated everything, how it happened, showed me some video evidence. Do you know that when she was narrating that thing to me, I felt like calling the police. Me, myself, I felt like calling the police for the man because it made no sense. So I feel like we should also talk to men to calm down. You cannot, even if they beat woman for Nigeria before, I don't think you can do it here. There are countries where women seem to be more powerful. When you go to court, you need very, very substantial evidence, like very, very strong evidence before you can win a woman in court. And this is a country like that. I don't live here, but at least I don't learn some things by virtue of coming here many times. If this woman reports you will be deported and you'll be frustrated back home. And it will be even difficult for you to get visa to another country. But then your family could call her a bad woman. So I just felt like sharing this story with her consent. I said, I want to share this thing because a lot of women now, if you say, oh, make them not talk, say I be bad woman. No, let us also speak to the men. I cannot stop a man from cheating or whatever. You are a man, it's your choice. That's not my business. But my own, why you would cheat constantly beats? It makes no sense. I just hope we learn from things like this.